We have some news and rumors for you folks today, and in this video we're going to talk about Jason Cabinda signed a 2-year deal. Could Marcus Williams' #1 destination be the Lions? How about Stefon Gilmore getting pushed to be signed by the Lions? And could Christian Kirk be a target for Detroit, as well as Jared Goff if he restructures? What it would look like. But before we get into this video, if you think it's a real sound idea to play Hungry Hungry Hippo with a real live hippo, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And sometimes being a Lions fan, you can get eaten up. Also, make sure you take that like button with you and let that bad boy get smashed. Let's get into today's Lions rumors. Yes, Jason Cabinda signed a 2-year deal worth $2 million. Lions fullback. He was an integral part towards the Lions offense on and off the field, and you can always tell that Dan Campbell liked him through his talking about him. And just like when he talked about him in the season, he talked about it again. He says, "I've been intrigued by Cabinda since the spring." Head coach Dan Campbell said back in August, "There is something about him. We knew he's a little raw because he made the transition last year, but there is something to him." Cabinda's work ethic both on and off the field made him a Lions 2020-21 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. "Guys like Jason Cabinda can change the world," Campbell said. "He is a man of principle who's such a positive example for entire locker room. Since the day I met him, he's embodied what it means to be a leader on and off the field." And as we know, the biggest thing for the Detroit Lions was simply to change the culture. You bring in like a Jamal Williams, you bring individuals like a Michael Brockers who are leaders, and guess what? Jason Cabinda is one of those individuals. He also can get it done on the field by running the football. When he does get his opportunities, he can actually catch the football as a fullback. More importantly, opening up the holes. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good signing? Let me know in the comment section of this video. It's going to be a pinned comment. It is simple. Y for yes and for no. Is Jason Cabinda a good signing? Let's get into, could the Detroit Lions and Marcus Williams be a match made in heaven? Well, per Bleacher Report, that looks to be the #1 destination for Marcus Williams is the Detroit Lions. We've been talking about the safety position for some time, and we need the help. We got issues right now. Are we going to re-sign Tracy Walker? But other than that, you got Will Harris, you got Dean Marl, you got guys who really had struggled last year. Do you want to bring them back? When we look at Marcus Williams' stats last year, 52 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and pass defenses of 8. So he did a very good job. And one thing about Marcus Williams is that he is a thumper, and I believe he is a Dan Campbell type of guy. Really is. He embodies what it means to be a knee biter. I guess a guy that's going to fight till the end. And it's exactly what the Lions need to have on the back end of the Detroit Lions defense. What do you guys think? Do you think the Detroit Lions should target Marcus Williams in free agency? Let me know what you guys think upon this. Let's go ahead and talk about Stefon Gilmore, because no one talked about him in Detroit before, but PFF is pushing for the Lions to sign Stefon Gilmore. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is not a good idea, and why I think the Detroit Lions are not going to sign him. We look at last year. Yes, he was a Defensive Player of the Year just a couple years ago, but last year, 15 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 2 pass defense. To me, that is not good enough. And he is older at 31. We're looking for individuals who are younger, and we actually got a solid secondary guarding the cornerback position. So why ruin that when you have an opportunity to just continue to grow with the players that you have? So PFF, no, I say to the gnaw upon that. I don't want none of Stefon Gilmore here in Detroit. Just do with the guys we got and continue to draft. And the Jerry Jacobs, the Akudas, the Melifonwes, we don't need a guy who's older. But there's something that we could need if you don't have the Lions Nation Unite app. Make sure you go to lionsnationunite.com and download this app. This app is for Detroit Lions fans. Way to interact, a social media, a Facebook, post videos, giveaways, made by Herman Moore, absolutely fun. You can also find them on Twitter, Lions Nation U, and they have a YouTube, Lions Nation Unite. I am on there talking Detroit all the time. So if you think that's something that would be valid to get on, you might as well do it, because I do think it's a solid one for sure. Christian Kirk, could the Detroit Lions be targeting him in free agency? Well, I think it's very possible. Obviously, we need help at the wide receiver position. We heard our coaches say, I'd love to get a guy in free agency and even draft two of them in this up-and-coming NFL draft. So could Christian Kirk be a guy they look to get? Well, there's a lot of wide receivers on this market, and I think that's actually a benefit, because then we can get them maybe a little bit lower on a contract due to the fact there's a ton of them. But Christian Kirk, if you don't know, he's not the tallest guy in the world. 5'11". He is young, though, at 25. And in all honesty, he had some pretty good stats with a receiver core that was stout over there with the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, we're talking about 77 receptions, 982 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 12.8 average. If the Detroit Lions decide to go the route of Christian Kirk, they can be looking to get adding him to Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he's not the biggest guy in the world. And then the Detroit Lions probably could go into this draft and get that bigger body individual to really help out the Detroit Lions, because we need to get this core as high as we can get. And right now, it is not that high. And I think when the Lions have an opportunity to explore the free agent market, he is one they should look at because of the contract itself. Still, I want them to look at a lot of wide receivers. Talk about Michael Williams. Even look at Michael Gallup to see how his injury is doing, because we need to look. Mike Evans. We need everybody on board to look at every receiver in free agency to get this core better, because right now it's not good enough. And if they would like to pursue Christian Kirk, I think that's okay, but I would like to know what is the plan going forward for the NFL draft. Because yes, we need help, but we need to get also size. We have a lot of smaller guys. We're talking about, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's not the biggest guy in the world. We got Khalif Raymond, who they could potentially bring back at some point. We need to get a little bit bigger. I feel like we got a lot of number 3s. I think we got a number 2 and some number 4s, but we don't have that bona fide number 1. So if they do go Christian Kirk in free agency, I would really hope the plan is in the NFL draft to get that solid number 1 guy. Kirk, he can open up the field. He can do some damage there, get separation, and make the big plays. I think him and Amon-Ra would be good if we get that number 1 guy. If we get a number 1 guy, then you could see Christian Kirk's numbers go up. You can see Amon-Ra's numbers go up. TJ Hockenson, who we really need to get going, his numbers go up to really help out the Lions going forward. Now, interesting, yesterday on the One Pride podcast, there was a conversation that came up about, should we restructure Jared Goff's contract? The big deal here, because right now we're approximately $25 million we have in cap that we can spend. We're going to go ahead. I expect we're going to cut Trey Flowers. So that's going to give us another $10 million, so $35 million. But if we decide to restructure Jared Goff's contract, we could probably save another $16 million, so we can get in the $50-some million range. There's other individuals you could restructure as well. We're talking to Halapalooty Vati Vaitai, and with all the restructures done, with individuals who they could do it to, he could probably have around $70 million in cap space. Yes, that sounds enticing when you look at this year. $70 million, you really can do some damage and get some really high-profile personnel in free agency. With that said, you're putting an emphasis on Jared Goff to be not just this year, but he would be the quarterback next year. And is that something that Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell would they want to do? Because if you do restructure it, that is what's going to occur. We structured his contract last year, so it made it harder this year to move on from him or just go in a different route that is a position they could have taken in that spot. So they decided to restructure. But if we did that now, it is committing to him at least for another year. Personally, this is my personal belief. I don't want to restructure contracts. I truly do not. I want to be able to be fiscally responsible, and that starts in the pocketbooks as well as anything else of a franchise, getting the correct players and drafting. You have to be fiscally responsible. And I think it's really important in free agency to get selected players. I think that's important. Not to overspend, though, because if you overspend, you're going to end a situation like we have been in for many years. To me, you build through the draft. You get your dynamic players in the draft. So if we have 10 draft picks this year, if we were to draft soundly, we don't have to worry about the current contracts that much. You can be like other teams and let players walk and get compensatory draft picks. Example, if the Detroit Lions decided not to bring back Tracy Walker, he gets a big contract with another team. We get a compensatory pick. We did that with Kenny Galladay, and you just replace the production in the draft. But hey, look, I am just one guy. I want to know what you guys think on this one. Would you restructure Jared Goff's contract? Personally, I say no, but hey, you have your own voice. Let me know in the comment section. Y for yes and N for no. What would you do? Folks, in the upcoming videos, we do got the One Pride podcast that's on my channel every single Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a fun, interactive show. Make sure you're there. And we take the comments from the mailbag segment, and I make a video for Saturday for you all. So if you have great comments, I will feature them for you. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions.